Hi guys, well I just see the Man of Steel today. As you can see, I got my Man of Steel t-shirt on, and I have to say I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a great time. I went to the Ipswich IMAX. Now while the 3D in this, on the IMAX screen anyway, didn't really do anything for me. I didn't feel like the effect was coming out of the screen at all during the film. The IMAX sound was excellent. I can't recommend seeing Man of Steel enough on IMAX, especially as while you have the glasses on, they don't seem to hinder your vision at all. It doesn't. I think the screen's very bright, so it doesn't sort of darken the screen as it has in real 3D when I've just gone to see it on a normal screen. The film itself, as I said, I thought it was excellent. I felt it felt fresh. It took the franchise and the Superman mythos. It took all the things in, but it sent it on a new direction. And what I liked is it didn't try and mimic the Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve movies. Now for me, they'll still be the ultimate Superman movies for me, especially Superman 1. You know, nothing can replace them. And especially Christopher Reeve as Superman. But he's of that time, and that's the classic era. And I felt that, you know, now we're in the 21st century. It's time to take it in a brand new way, and I felt that they did that. Now Man of Steel is an origin story, and it goes right back to the start of Superman's life, where he's born, and it starts on in Krypton. I liked how everything was done slightly different, how the planet is in peril, the costume designs, the look of the planet. I loved the organic look of it, and how the machines and the computers, how they were sort of organic and sort of morphing with CGI and everything. I like that style. Support cast in the film were great. I really enjoyed Russell Crowe as Jor-El, and it was cool. It was given some action to do at the start of the film. Michael Shannon was fantastic as Zod, although I felt that the supporting cast of the villains that followed him could have done with a little bit more character development. They just seemed like they were followers and did his beckoning, and really didn't have any more to them than that, rather than like when you looked at Superman 2 and Zod was the leader, but Ursula and Non were given stuff to do, and had some characterization of their own. But that's just a minor quibble. Henry Cavill as Superman, the scenes where it shows him trying to live his life as a civilian, and the scenes where they flash back and they show a young Kal-El or Clark Kent, was really good. I loved how they took snippets of his life and sort of went back to them throughout the origin at the first half of the film. And I felt it was a pretty good character development, and you got to know who his father was, and the way he was brought up, and why he acts the way he does, and why he feels a need to be a saviour for mankind. I felt that they told that story really well, and thoroughly enjoyed it. Then the action sort of really builds up. You get to meet Lois Lane. Amy Adams, I thought, was really good in the role, and I felt there was a chemistry between her and Clark Kent or Superman, and I found it believable. And they build it up slowly throughout the film, where you can see it wasn't like straight away love at first sight or anything. It was a slow build up throughout the film, and I can't knock the supporting cast at all. Apart from certain characters, because there's so much action to cram into this film, they were slightly had not enough to do, but there was enough in there for them to get some idea of what kind of people they are. Now the action is relentless in this. It's basically the last third of the film is like full on superheroes fighting supervillains, and it's fantastic, and you're on the edge of your seat, and there's so much fighting, but it can be so relentless, and there's so much of it, and there's like buildings and smashing around and explosions and everything. It's so relentless. It can be a little bit too much for certain people, but I don't know, maybe they could have toned it down a little bit, maybe give us a little bit of a breather in between certain action scenes. But the action, it was so good and it was so enjoyable to watch on the screen, and it did look fantastic that I just thoroughly enjoyed it and didn't really have as much of an issue with it as I had with certain other films in the past that you know, have so much action that they can like dull the senses. This for me, I still cared about what was going on, and I wasn't bored by it, and it did look great, as I said, on an IMAX screen. Um, it has also some really deep moments in it. The one thing it does lack, though, it does lack some of the tongue in cheek, and it does lack some of the sense of humour that is there in other like movies like the Avengers, and especially the Richard Donner Reeve Superman films. It was a very serious film, and there's very few light-hearted moments. It could have done with a little bit more of those. Although saying that, after seeing Iron Man 3, which was basically an Austin Powers movie, it was so like over the top in its humour. It was kind of nice to see a comic book film being taken so seriously again. I'm not, and I know it's knocking the Iron Man 3 again, but I just was like glad that this was sort of taken so seriously, and I just thought this was a fantastic film. Apart from, as I said, maybe take some breathing space between the action scenes, and maybe there could have been a little bit more character development. I think it would have been hard to have crammed everything in to make it 100% satisfactory. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. And it's by far for me the one of the best. I'd put it up there definitely as the best film I've seen this year. Star Trek Into Darkness slightly behind it, but yeah, Man of Steel, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I really hope that this is a big success and this is the start of a new franchise, and we're going to see more Man of Steel films in the future. I'll catch you later.